Well, eyo n'embeera eri wano mu bitundu ebya Busoga ng'Abasoga bali mu njira bagemereire wano okubona nti babaawo era baaniriza maama wa Busoga Jovia Mutesi. Embeera kuki omukolo ekitegeeza buli kintu kyona kyona kye tubali tuli kulinda kimaze okuba nti kituuka wano era ezira mbeera yindi eidda kulemesa mukolo guno okujja mu maiso kuba mukolo guno Katonda era mwena agubairemu. That is the arrival of the Queen herself, Jovia Mutesi, is now arriving here at Bugembe Cathedral. He is the person we have been waiting for, and finally she is making it here. As soon as she gets in here at Bugembe, we shall also be giving you the live broadcast of how she's going to be received here at the cathedral. And from there she will join the king himself, who is already here. And after she assumes her seat as the queen, then the church will take us into the next session, where we will be just only waiting for that moment of the wedding. After the wedding, we shall of course return into the city of Jinja in a very historical and very marvelous way, where now this time round the queen and the king will be occupying one vehicle. They will not be seated, but rather they will be standing and wave to the thousands of the Busoga community and the well-wishers who have already, even till now, they are still waiting along major streets and roads in Busoga. Once more, the Katukiro of Busoga, Dr. Joseph Muvawala, is again here to receive the Queen. This is the first time the Queen is going physically to be unveiled to the entire world. I will not say to Busoga only. We have all as a country and our brothers in the neighboring country waited to see, other than the portrait and the photos we have been seeing and running on different media stations and the papers or newspapers. Now it's the moment where the Queen herself is going to be unveiled. I understand the Minister of State for ICT, the Minister of State for ICT, Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, is also here to be part of these events, which has brought the communities of Uganda together. This is not about Busoga as a region or as a kingdom, but we have seen almost everybody here in Busoga region. That is the grandmother. That happens to be the mother of the father. The mother of the father, Muzei Bayole. And here she comes. I think you will of course say God has been good to her, that she has lived up to today. She has lived up to today to witness this memorable moment where now his son is giving away officially his daughter to the kingdom. He's not going to be a mother of one or two, but to the rest of the Busoga community. It is now Mama Jovia Mutesi who is going to take care of the entire Busoga as a kingdom under that title and position of the mother. That's why even here in Busoga, we refer to her as Mama wa Busoga. That is the car where the queen is coming. Behind you can see, now the queen herself is being ushered in here. Then just around me is the State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Owekitiibwa Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao. Mama, lwaki wavudde eri yonna n'ogamba kujje wano?
kubanga neno gyendi.
Kino kitegeeza ki Busoga ne Buganda? Biki bye tufaanaganya?
Tuli bamu, tewali njawulo, ffenna ffe bamu, tewali njawulo.
Mama katukwerekereza oyingire ogende.
Ndi maama wa bonna, ndi maama wa bonna.
Era nkulabye mu konvoyi ne ŋŋamba eno yaani?
Nga yeeyo ndi wonna tebansobola.
Ono gwe muwulira ne kuno mulaba yo ow'ekitiibwa Joyce Nabbosa Ssebugwawo, ffe ng'ekitongole kya UBC be bamu ku bakama baffe, era bw'asalawo nti omusaala gw'omwezi guno leero teguteekebwayo siyinza gaana, nzikiriza bukkiriza. Agambye ngenda ogambye otya?
Gufuna.
Bansasulidde wano nze e Bugembe. Abantu bagambye omusaala ogambye otya?
Okufunye omusaala.
Well, tagambye nze nzeka wabula ndowooza ategeeza abakozi b'ekitongole ki UBC nti omusaala bajja kuteekayo, era twagala okwongera okusiima bakama baffe nti singa tebadde enkola eyo ey'obwangu sanga tumubooleke ensi yonna erinze kulaba maama wa Busoga Geovia Mute. That is Justine Kasule Lumumba also joining us here. She has been at the center of the whole arrangement of this function. And then I think at last they are smiling and trying to get some sort of relief that finally what they have been yearning for and preparing for, because it might be even more than 1 year, because we are speaking of a few months when they unveiled this to Busoga or the country at large. But you can guess the processes were on foremost, because searching for the person of the Queen is not a one-day assignment. So we expect they have been doing so many underground and undercover work to come up with that substantial one lady they want all to refer to as the Queen of this more than 4 million population area of Busoga, located in the eastern parts of the country, Uganda. I told you earlier, it is one of the richest regions, though that richness does not reflect what is in the pockets of the many people of this area. But government is trying to play its role of ensuring that they wake up, first of all, the people of these communities of Busoga, that the world is moving at a very, very terrible speed and they need to catch up if they are to match with other communities of the country. Wano mukolo n'ogwo ogutuleese ogw'okugayita lata waife Kyabazinga wa Busoga William Gabulana Diope owokuna ni maama bukyalijja okufuuka maama wa Busoga Geovia Mutesi, baabo booli bona n'abamu kubali wakati oba waikati ow'emikolo gino oyinza okubeeta emperekeze ed'omugole Geovia Mutesi. Ekyokolaba kidi oba bona baliko akaseko ku matama oba oniini balinze maama bw'anaaba ng'aviire mu mmotoka butiffe tubuzaabuziibwa ida tiida kukoba nti ali mu mmotoka eno n'eri kuba gye tubaye tuddi nti mwaidiira tituliimubona mmotoka kumpi donadona diweireyo butini mwe kimba mukole mutewo bwa maiso mubone oba anaidira ku kagaali oba anaidira ku wilibaro ife tuidaba mulaga tuze kye tujja akola ate ze gye tuli kujja tuida mulinda kuba embeera eriwo yona eraga nti ali wano nife kuba n'emperekezedde datuuseira wano aye ndibona emmotoka eyo eri kwidda kibonekana nti maama ayinza kuba ali omwo maama ayinza kuba ali mu eyo emmotoka. Well, no, that is the father. Muzei Stanley Bayole is also just arriving here. We saw, well, he might be going to open for his daughter. Am I right? Is that the Queen or the mother? No, that is the mother to the Queen coming in here with the father, Muzei Stanley Bayole. Bayole has been so more cooperative with us, the Fourth Estate, along this journey of trying to give us the updates and the history, the background of the family, and we want to thank him that he has indeed given a good history and background of the daughter who is coming to become the queen and the mother of the many millions of the BUSOGA communities. Well, when the queen gets in here, you will automatically see her. I think this is the moment most of you are waiting for. You are not waiting to see me or hear me, but you are waiting to see the queen herself. Then the arrangement, I think, probably is the family gets in, and after the family getting their seats, already the king is already here, the archbishop is here, the vice president is here, the speaker, Deputy Thomas Tayewa is already here. Then we shall have nothing to wait but to kick off the events of the day. Well, the local entertainment group is also trying to give us a sample of what BUSOGA stands for. And this is a true reflection of how rich this culture is as concerned. And we will see more of this later on in the day. Katikiro Muvawala is having a good moment here with the father, the #1 in-law of BUSOGA, the RDC of Bulambuli, Stanley Ntagali, rather Stanley Bayole. Stanley Ntagali, for your information, is the former Archbishop Church of Uganda. But remember, when we were at his place, Stanley Bayole gave us a very good history that one time when Ntagali visited him in Mayuga at his residence, he prophesied that indeed one day the family of Muzei Bayole will be a great home in the kingdom of BUSOGA, not only in BUSOGA but in the country Uganda. And indeed, the country is witnessing that prophecy. We are not sure whether the Archbishop Emeritus will be here to give us the history of that background. But just in case he is not here, you need to go with this information that the men of God are the reason as to why we exist. They will look at our future and guarantee and automatically tell where we are heading. So, awo libona Justin Kasule Lumumba, alini Katikiro Joseph Muvawala, waliwa baba wa BUSOGA azaala omwana w'obuwala alijja ofuuka maama wa BUSOGA, Stanley Bayole, okuva wale mu bitundu eby'emayuge. Ife abava mu bitundu bire eby'enamayingo twiddaabitanga ku bukoyume waife awo tuba tufunye ku bwire tubabuuzeeko olwoniini tweyongereyo. Nkakasa nti ekitundu eky'emayuge kikijja sigala mu mbeera eda buliido, kijja kusuumuusibwamuku mu mbeera ey'endawulo, anti ate kuba neeva baaba azaala maama wa BUSOGA. Ate maama bw'abaana abanga ali ku ne by'alikola ayida kusookeranga kulinga ku kitundu ekyo eky'emayuge, abone nti abantu be ab'emayuge tibasigala inuma. Waliwo abagenyi ab'endawulo abakaatuuka wano, banaddiini ab'endawulo, kababa abasiraamu, ba ambassadors, bona boona bali kuyida kubaawo okubugiriza ba naife abasoga n'emikwano gya BUSOGA okubona nti omukolo guno tibalekera baba waife yenkani maama, aye nga twena tubaawo okubona nti akaseko ke tulinaku ne baba ne maama ke baidde okuba naku tukagabanaku, oba oliawo twakongeraku okubona nti olunaku tiruba lwirugavu ino nga bwe kisobola okuba mu mbeera eyo. Ekitwemereza wano si kirala, tulinze maama wa BUSOGA nakukobeire nti emmotoka donadoona mwe tubaire tulimusuubira tukaali mubona, aye ng'ate tusuubira ni mutabani wa pulezidenti ow'eiwanga lino General Muhoozi Kainerugaba okutwegayitaku. Program gye tubaire nayo babaire batukobeire nti ayidda kuba wano mu ssaawa timukaaga, aye wazira kabonero akali kulaga nti oba mutabani w'omukulembeze w'eiwanga ayidda kuba wano, aye tuyidda kubanga ife ekijja mu maiso kyona kyona tukibatuusaaku wano butereevu. Ku nguudo yona yona wetubise mu bibweine abantu baijje mu bungi, abantu baijje mu bungi okubona nti bawerekera baba waife ni maama okumutuusa wano wetuli. Ku byendi kufuna omugole abonekana aida kubanga mu kiseera ekitali kyawala ayira wano, ekitegeeza yatubiseeku aye nze nabakobeire oba ali ku kagaali oba ali ku wilibaalo oba bamuteire ku bodaboda. Olwaleero luno lwene mwidda mubona birebye mubaire mubona ebifaananyi abe Jovia Mutesi maama wa Busoga ali kwidda wano mwene era mwidda mwogabuliro abanaafuna gw'omukisa abatono baidda kwekubyaku naye ebifaananyi oba onini we tunaamaliriza omukolo ate banaife abasinga obungi abasigaireeyo mu njira ne mu disitulikiti ed'endawulo edikola Busoga tuyidda kumubooleka ate nga tubita mu kyetweyise procession oba okukumba nga tubita mu kibuga ekyebugembe. Tujje tutyo tuyireyo kwibiri, tujje tutyo tugeme tujje paka wale kukakira, tujje tugeme Main Street, twetoloole nini tuyire paka kwamba kooti, we tunaava kwamba kooti ate tuyire paka tumutwale eigenge mu lubiri gye bajja okusembereza abagenyi baibwe. Ebyo byonna byonna bidda kubaawo ng'omukolo guweire ku ssaawa eyo nga 10:10. Aye wayira ab'ebyokwerinda babaire batukobye nti emikolo gino donna basuubira nti ku ssaawa 2 ginaaba giweire abantu ba Busoga, abantu baife Bannayuganda tubawa omukisa okutambula ng'obwire bukaali bayireyo wonawona gye baviire. Aye ffe tetuyidde asalawo n'ab'ebyokwerinda nenda kutegeeza nti tebaidda kusalawo ku kyene kinayidda mu maiso. Aye buti omukolo guli kujja eri bannaife ab'ekkanisa abona abantu abali kusanusaamu wano ku bagenyi ba baaba nga bwe tulindirira maama. Nze niiwe azira wano nweza TV tovaawo, bw'oba ova ku TV jja n'akaleediyo osigale ng'owuliriza. Bw'omaliriza ofuna ekikopo kya caayi oba olwendo lw'amaadhi oyire ku ntimbe Daifeda TV anti nkobye guno omukolo ezira nsonga yonna yonna gy'ojja kuwa gy'ate bakunumiikirize olayidda n'akulimba nti nze nkobere maama tabayireyo. Abe okwewala ensonga odineedo teeka ku TV Business Star TV ffe tulikola ogwaife nkaniiwe lwaki totyama ku TV wena waatubona. Abakyatulaba ku Business Star TV mbadde nkunnyonnyola nti abo bamu kubali mu kusanyusa wano abantu bakyabazinga wa Busoga nga bwe tulindirira okutuuka kwa maama Jovia Mutesi. Yatuuse dda n'abaako gy'asookedde waggulu eyo mu lutikko ndowooza okwongera okuteekateeka oba kalipusitiki ne kalipushayina bongere okukakwatakwatamu agenda okutuuka wano nawamba yoyo bwe tubadde tulaba ku bifaananyi bwe tubadde tuliirira okumala ebbanga eryo lyonna si mwaka kuwa myezi 3 bukyanga Busoga balangirira nti batuwadde maama wabula njagala okutegeeza nti okuva kyabazinga bweyatuuzibwa emyaka gibadde giyise ng'abasoga babuuliza nti ddala taata lata waife alifuna ddi omufubi w'embooli oba lumonde n'envuluga biba binyeebwa mu lulimi Oluganda. Kati nno okweteekateeka okwo n'okulindirira okwo kubaddewo okumalira ddala akaseera okutuusa kyabazinga lwe yasalawo nti bannange nange empewo ey'ekiro ngikooye, nange okulyanga obwomu ku dayiningi nkukooye, okuyitanga obwomu ng'anamula obusoga buno bwonna obunene bwe buti nkukooye. Kati nno kanfune omubeezi ajje tubeere ffenna mu lubiri olw'ebugabula, mu lubiri olw'ebugembe n'embiri ez'enjawulo wano mu bitundu ebya Busoga. Abo nno bakyatubeesabeesa era mbadde njagala nsembereko we bali owulire ku ekyo kye batuwa otegeerere ddala nti tuli Busoga, tetuli wa kitundu kirala. kubeesabeesa nga bwe tulinda maama akomewo wano olwo nno owulira obuyimba abantu emazina buli omu ali kugaga ag'abasoga nti bannaaye ate alibeera ku mbaga eno oba nange ntegedde engeri gye bazinamu. We are still waiting for the Queen herself to make it to this place, and we usher in to the venue, and from there, then we shall give you the details and the proceedings of what is happening here. Mr. Bayole, I don't know if I can just try to move where he is and see. Even Justin Kasule Lumumba is here, and we can at least be interacting with them as we wait for the Mom of BUSOGA to make it here. And probably when they get here, I will hand you back. Let's try to see whether we can get you Justin Kasule Lumumba so that we can also get one word from her as we keep in waiting for the program of the mother who is coming here. Oh no. Bwendijja okwogera naye Musamya Munange yaliko omubaka wa district ey'e Bugiri kankali mutontyo, yabaako ssaabawandiisi w'ekibiina kya NRM, yabaako chief whip mu parliament, yabaako ali kwebembera kakiga katesitesa akenda mugongo, buti ali kwebembera enkiiko ed'endawulo editegeeka omukolo guno tiddamu andulaye wuuyo.
Ninze akulira media n'ebyonsanusa ndowooza mubona ebigwala abo batimbonanga ku magwala gaago abayise lugwala nabagafuuga aye omugwe mwidi ava mu kika ekyabayise lugwala ni Honorable Proscovia Salama Musumba. Aye olunaku lwaleero tuli basanufu ab'amawulire ab'amedia mutukoze bulungi bana mwatuusa amaloboozi gaife eri abantu baire bangi mu ngira tutuuse leeti aye lwaisano abanaidiini baida tusonera nti tutuuse leeti aye lwaisano abantu ekinegenege kibagemye ngezirayenda tufeni tumubiteku era nenda kusaba baba kyabazinga nti abantu eisano lyabatairemu ayongerenga bwogere.
Oyo ni mukyala Justin Kasule Lumumba tituddamu ogeza ino kuba yayogereira ebbanga lino lyonna abayira ayogera era tutegeeza nti akayogerera ne mu biseera ebyo ebi ife buli we tunaamubona nga tumweyongeza tinekyo maama
ye mukolo tulina okwebaza ni media buti mukakola tubeebaza tulina obeebaliza irala.
That is Justin Kasule Lumumba appreciating the role being played by the media in as far as the whole arrangement of the Kingdom of BUSOGA, particularly for this event of the royal wedding. Very many people are waiting here. I just want, if I'm allowed, if I can probably speak to the father, then I'll have to just see whether he's just in the position of saying hi to the BUSOGA. We know he will be speaking to us in an appropriate time, but this is an opportunity. I think his heart is saying, well, I'm finally here. And that is Stanley Bayole afuuse omuko nambandala ekyo nkiyiramu omuko nambandala owa BUSOGA baba nzira kitiibwa buti n'obusobozi obukoba nti oba oyogereko eri obusoga tubuuzeeko wabubuuze.
Mbalamwisa mwena mwena abasoga bakutuwuliriza aye mugane tulinde ekyakyewe tudda kwongera okunomya
era nga bwenkobye nekyo kyene mukobye atulamuseeko era atulamwisa ekitusibye wano tuli mukulindirira maama waife nkukobeire nti emmotoka dibaire ningi ediidye wano aye atubiseeku tuyinza okuba tuli mukulindanga mmotoka aye ng'ali ku kagaali oba ali ku ndogoyi buti nini waali ku UBC kyoba okole tova ku TV yo gwe beera bwawano kyendi kwenda okukakasa nti maama aidda kutuuka wano mu buli mbeera n'akasana akali kujjanga keetegula mu mpolampola ekitegeeza nti obwire bwona busiimye abantu b'obwakyabazinga babe wano babone emikolo gino butereevu, babaire beteeseteese, babaire bataaku sente daibwe, wali abaviire ewala, waliwo abatairemu obwire bwaibwe. N'olw'ensonga eyo bonaboona baidye wano kubona nti babaawo ng'abajulizi ku mikolo eyita baba waife Kyabazinga wa Busoga. Ndikulengera eruyeere abageni abakulu nkani bali kwira nga bali kwebwembera mu Katikkiro oba Katwikiro wa Busoga ow'ekitiibwa Joseph Muvawala. Waliwo emmotoka eyo eri okwidda nkani nenda kakasa nti oba omwo tulowooze nti maama waife gwe tukalinze wano baba yatuuseira, abagenyi abakulu batuuseira, ab'ekkanisa batyaimeira, ab'embi balibo balikola ogwaibwe. Ife ab'amawulire twasuze wano kutiini yenka naabulayo ife ekituleese tukibawe bene imwe munatukobera nti obwogwa ife twagukoze nga bwe mubaire musuubira oba waliwo abaire wenda okuterezaamu oba oliawo olundi tuliterezaamu okusinga kwekyo kye tuli buno olwaleero. Now, up there at the cathedral I see a convoy of one car with some gentlemen and women trying to slope down, moving towards our direction. I want to be confident that this is the return of the Queen of Busoga, Jovia Mutesi, whom we have been waiting here for almost 30 minutes, and now she is coming back here at the main event venue. That is Katukiro Joseph Muvawala. I can see him from a distance, leading other members, probably of the organizing committee and the family, ushering in the Queen of Busoga. This kingdom has been there for almost 30 years after the death of Alice Murochi. So they are very happy and eagerly waiting to have a real feel of their new mother, coming this time round in the names of Jovia Mutesi. Of course, he will get some extra names like Nadiope and the rest. That one we shall leave it for the church to give us the real details of this event. So, the Queen is returning here. To pay attention to me and you don't know. King Murochi was also going under the same arrangement. So it should be a moment you can't miss, because you will not have another chance. Probably if you are 2 years old, you can look at 30 or 40 years from now to witness such a similar event. But if you are beyond 20 years, I can bet my small monies that you will not be in position again to witness a magnificent event of this caliber. Even a few of them can witness the wedding of the late Kyabazinga of Busoga, that is the late Murochi, with the late Alice Murochi. So this is our event. It's an event of our generation. We live to tell the stories to our children, our great children, that we were part and parcel of the whole arrangement, not only in giving our services as media, but also we are keeping our eyes to see how the cultural wedding of the person of the king is conducted. To me, I've said the king is acting as now a very big inspiration to the generation of our times, because very many people would not be feeling the essence or the need of having a royal wedding of this caliber. It might not be of that magnitude that you need to pour all the billions and billions of the money the king has invested in this, but the gesture that you can publicly come out to wed your spouse is what many could keep from this royal wedding of the Kyabazinga. And for the mother, Jovia Mutesi, have still hope that after the absence of the mother, now when the mother is just coming in here officially, she will be a pillar also of an orientation and inspiration to the young of not only Busoga, but Africa. And kano banafe omugole mulindwa omukyala mama wa Busoga wuuyo ye motoka gy'ogereyo eyingira wano tetulimulaba bamulabidde wali eri ate ovya balinako we bamutwala obaesaawa enjawulo wagenda okuyita okulaba nti atuuka mu ntebe emutegekeddwa nkiwa nti eno eri kumpi awo n'omwami we iseife kyabazinga wa Busoga William Kadhumbula na Dyope okuna eyatuse dda mu kifo tukugeza nti Ssaabalabirizi w'Ekkanisa Uganda agenda okulemberamu emikolo gino naye yatuuse dda kati awo nno bye bifaananyi ebyo byolengera Justin Lumumba bali awo ku mmotoka balindiridde okulaga maama wa Busoga bw'avaayo baguddewo oluggi kakasa omukolo n'omugole gwe tubadde tulindirira wuuyo atuuka tewakyali kukanga kulala maama wa Busoga Katuukiro Joseph Muvawala awo wow afulwimye bannange omugole wuuyo gwe mubadde mulindira wulira enduulu okuva mu bantu b'Obwakyabazinga n'abagenyi abali waneno wow it is really a great day and a great moment in the history of this kingdom that after 60 years we are witnessing yet again the royal wedding of the Queen and the King of Busoga. This is the moment most of you, even with us here, we have been waiting. You can see our media crew trying to fix themselves right and left to ensure that they get the clear view of the Queen. And the father, Stanley Viola, is also somewhere behind, escorting his daughter. Look at that. It's not out of anger, but they are all eager to get the clear view of the Queen. The security is trying to guide the media personnel here that indeed you can move away, give us space so that we usher in the well, awo nno basobola bakyagezaako okwaniriza wano maama wa Busoga kuyingira ku Lutikko Bugembe. Waliwo sijja gamba nti kwesiddika naye butakwatagana wakati w'abamawulire n'ab'ebyokwerinda. Buli omu ayagala kukola ogugwe naye ate n'abamawulire twasuubizza bannaffe abasigadde eyo nti ffe abajjo batuusaako ebisinga obungi nga n'okusinga eyo twandizeza nti tujja kuwa omukisa bannamawulire ebyetaagisa mu nsonga eyo okulaba nti gwali eka mu ddiiro mu saaluuniyo mu kibanda omugole wuuyo kati temukyalina kye mutugamba awerekerwako kitaawe Stanley Bayole. Oh my goodness, Obusoga bufudde essanyu. Tuwagala okutegeeza nti tutugenda kuba nga tukuwa buli kimu ekigenda mu maaso waneeno mu bitundu ebya Busoga. Tukulaga maama wa Busoga ng'atuuka wano omugenyi obwedda bwe tulindiridde era naye nga Kyabazinga bwe gubadde bwatuuse wano tugenda
buli omutyama mu katebeko Nibona Sabdin wa Cathedral, Reverend Kan Dr. Joe Nivika, Reverend Kan Matas Katiko, bakulembeire mama bali kumuleta. Buli omutyama woli mama olida kusobola omubona. Mama huyu ali kutambula mu kitiibwa. Mama huyu ali kutambula. Thank you so much, technical team. Ladies and gentlemen, we can now stand up right at this time, and the choir will lead us in that song as we welcome the Inebantu, the Queen of Busoga, to the church. Kale choir jatu kulembera mulwembo olwo, only page 6 and page 7. Kale Bandi, thank you so much. Now we come to the choir. Clear the aisle, please. Kansale buli omu bakapapula ke bakuwaire mu ibanga nga twaniriza maama. n'omuziga n'engalo nga maama ayingira ku alutaali. Abasoga omuziga n'engalo tibulira. Abakwaya n'omuzira nsobola okuwulira nga twaniriza maama. Give us all the microphones, sound on all microphones. The Archbishop and the bishops are welcoming the Queen in church. The moment has come. The time is now. The hour is now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hour. Now that the Queen is in the house, we are about to witness the royal wedding, the exchange of vows is about to take place. And the main celebrant, His Grace, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, is ready to take us forward. Ladies and gentlemen, hallelujah! Praise the Lord. Basebo ni banyabo nga tukali kutyama kansaye buli omu okuba engalo n'omuzira twanirize maama. Ine bantu wa Busoga kubanga atuuse. Era kansabe baba ni mama batyame. Kansabe baba ise bantu ni mama waife mutyame. Kansabe Kansabe ni baba waife ise bantu atyame. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all take our seats. Let us take our seats. Right at this time, I want to invite the sub-dean of the cathedral, the Reverend Canon Dr. Joy Mukisai, who will in turn invite the bishop to take us forward. Katwani is the sub-dean of cathedral, Reverend Canon Dr. Joy Mukisai, atwale mumaiso. Tukubile sub-dean mungalonga tumwaniriza.
Kama waffe yebazibwe. Haleluya. Twebaza Katonda olunaku luno olw'omuwendo nga mama ni baba bali mu kanisa Christ Cathedral Bugembe. Basebo ni banyabo mu kaseera kano kantwala omukisa guno kwanisa mama ni baba. Ate mwena n'okwebaza Katonda olunaku olw'omuwendo luno tutakoowa tukubire Katonda engalo eddaamaanyi n'emizira nga tumwebaza olw'olunaku olungi luno. Mu kaseera kano basebo ni banyabo kandeeta omulabirizi wa Busoga Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. Paul Samson Naimane Mukembo, ate nga mulangira. Kansobe bannango binibango mu ngeri endawulo mwanirize baba nga mwegayita ku bagenyi baife twena. Baba tukwaniriza.
katusooke twebaze Katonda olw'ekisa ekirungi kino Katonda kyatuwaire. Tukwebaziiza Musengwa kubanga olunaku luno mulindwa olutuukiriza bulungi. Twebaza Katonda nga ife abantu twateesa, aye Katonda niiwe otuukiriza. Tusiima ino kubanga mwenemu era nga yeeteeseteese okutwala ine Busoga boona boona obakuumye nga balamu. Twena n'okwebaza, twena okutukuuma nga tuli balamu, n'okusinga okwebaza esaaviisi eno eri kulemberwa Daada waife Isalabizi w'Ekkanisa ya Uganda. Byona byona ebyo mbisabye nga mbita mu linnya erisinga amayina goona goona erya Yesu Kristo Musenga waife. Olwaleero lunaku lukulu ate mwenemu atwegeresa kandete omukyala wangambe wanampa amaani kubanga luno lunaku lwakweyegeresa. Mendogere ebigambo nanirize n'abakulu abali wano. Mwenemu amaze okutwegereza buli muntu n'owuwe. Vice President wa Uganda, Oweekitiibwa ino Jessica Alupo, Your Grace, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, era kino kakimalire irala n'okusinga tukwebaziiza ino mwene mu buyasiima n'akweta okwida okumugaita ku lunaku luno banange tukubire ino His Grace engalo n'okwebaza ekisa kya Katonda. Isuukanjira Your Grace eisano lyetulina wano olwaleero buli muntu asanuike era buli muntu aliko bati olunaku lyose lwatuuka. Toije wenka Your Grace, oije ni Right Reverend Samuel Bogere George Egesa omulabirizi ow'Ebukedi aye nga azaalibwa wane waife Busoga. Daada waife owerekebwaku Right Reverend Patrick Wakula ni Mama Florence Wakula omulabirizi owa Central Busoga Diocese. Your Grace, ekyendawulo ekwaya eno gy'oli kubona eri composite of Busoga Diocese and Central Busoga Diocese. Era nga bwe twali Namugongo n'olwaleero ku mukolo guno ogw'Indemu bakikoze batyo, mwebale ino mwebalire irala. Daada ife owerekebwako Right Reverend Dr. Michael Alon Sosan Kyomya n'omumbeeda Florence Kyomya bakwerekere ku kumbaga eno. Era omuko owundi ow'abalangira Right Reverend Elia Paulo Luzinda Kizito ni Mama Florence Wanana Luzinda bali kumbaga eno banange mukubanga kwengalo mu abayizaamu amaani. Ng'akali kujja ku bantu abandi omugeni omukulu Vice President ni baba waife Daada waife His Grace zena asigala ng'amayina gange gali Right Reverend Dr. Paulo Moses Samsoni Neymane Mukembo ni Lydia Florence Neymane oyo n'afumba itooke menalya. Dada waife mu ngeri y'endawulo nenda okwaniriza abaawule abakoze omulimu omunene nga ntandika ni Profesa Reverend Lubogani Mama bakoze omulimu munene ino nenda okwaniriza Reverend Kanoni Moses Isabirye akoze omulimu munene ino. Wano waka nenda okwebaza Cathedral Team ng'ekulemberwa Reverend Kanoni Dr. Joy Mukisa Isabirye nga ni team leader akoze omulimu munene ino. Reverend Kanoni Mathias Katiko, Reverend David Martins Munoba omwise muwaya akayenze kavweyo era n'abantu ba Katonda okuva mu lukiiko bakoze omulimu munene ino. Your Grace ng'akali kuva waiguru obise ni provincial chancellor tutusobola kumutumya maiso. Owekitiibwa oyo bamweta Naboth muheirwe nga ni provincial chancellor. Wano waife Busoga tuli ni diocesan chancellor His Worship Emmanuel bamwite akutyamire akoze omulimu munene ino. Nga nja maiso tida kwogera bigambo bingi nenda okwebaza Chairman Central Organizing Committee owekitiibwa ino Engineer Patrick Batumbya baba guyasiima n'amugemya omulimu guno ayabeera agukola tiyenka ng'akulemberwamu Katiikiro wa Busoga atali wundi owekitiibwa Dr. Muvawala Nsekere bakoze omulimu munene ino n'enkiiko dooladoola nibaine bakola nabo nga bakatiikiro nibetama mayina gaabwe bakoze omulimu munene. Era wano tiyinza kuyisa maiso the session head of Leyte omulangira Paulo Wanume ali kufungiza ngano ekanzu nakati omulangira atafungiza kanzu aye nga alikwenda buli kintu kituukirire bulungi ino. Wano wetuli omukolo guno gwa Kyabazinga nga nimwenemu tulina abaweereza abaviire mu ndikiriza ed'endawulo bwetasobola kutuumya maiso. Tulini Metropolitan Muzeeyi Archbishop of the Orthodox Church ng'eraidye ni Bishop Sylvester akulembera diocese eno ey'ekitundu kino mu nzikiriza eyo eya Orthodox Church. Tulini Apostle Dr. Joseph Serwada, presiding apostle of the Born Again Faith. Niba ino bona botambule nabo tubaniriza ino. Tulina ezikiriza from the Roman Catholic. Tibapere mayina gaabwe aye mwena abakulu abo nga bangirawo ndi bali presentinze omulabirizi Bishop Wamika atwala Jinja Diocese. Tubaniriza ino. Tuli n'omukulu atwala obusiraamu wano mu Busoga nga tiwundi ate nga ni deputy mufti mu Uganda owekitiibwa ino Dr. ate nga ali Sheikh Boa era ng'akulembeirwaku ne district card awerekeirwaku abakulu bangi ino tida kumalayo bakulu banzikiriza ediri wano aye nenda akoba nti buli aide wano munzikirizaayo tumwaniriza ino mu liina erya Yesu Kristo musenga waife. Nenda kukomenkereza nti sebo mwenemu kuno kwebaza kwa ndawulo ow'ekitiibwa Katikkiro wa Busoga yeena yasiima ng'abita mu mubeezi we amuwandiikira mukyala Agatha yakati ayenda kwaya ku lunaku luno dambale bulungi. Sebo ow'ekitiibwa Dr. Joseph Muvaala tukwebaziza ino mumukubire kungalo ez'amaani kubanga omukyala oyo Agatha afiireyo ino mu practice ey'amaani. Era twendera n'okwebaza ekwaya eviire mu Namirembe Diocese okwegaita ku kwaya eno ekitiibwa kinene ino. Nenda kukoma awo tuli ne ba political leaders abatutyaime mu maiso gaife. Ekisabe kinaatuuka bw'atuma omukulu tamulagamira. Tuli ni Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga alitwala atane ekyeru. Nga ni First Deputy Prime Minister wa Uganda ate nga ni Minister wa East African Affairs. Mama ekisa ekyobo kinaatuuka n'obuwombeefu era okubona bwe neewombeese oza kujja ng'oyaniriza abakulu abaliwo boona boona mu ngeri n'endala. Ow'ekitiibwa Katikkiro wa Busoga tuli ni ba cultural leaders, tuli ni maama n'agenda n'abagereka n'abafaana batyo tyenda kutabulatabula. Baba waffe Katikkiro nkusuubira nti odakikola bulungi. Abakulu ababaviire abakalica abaviire mu Uganda nenda wa Uganda ekisa ekyobo kinaatuuka oda kubaaniriza nga tyenda kutabulatabula. Guno omukolo munene ino, mukolo gwa kitiibwa tigubolangaku ngubaire lwaleero ng'abandi bwe muli. Ise ife dada waffe Ssabirizi tukwendeza ekiseera ekirungi, tukwendeza service enungi. Nekabida Kibumba dongere okuyiika ku mukolo guno era tunaaviira wano nga buli muntu asanuka ali kutendereza Katonda, ali kubona obulungi bwa Katonda, ali kubona ekisa kya Katonda ekiviireyo n'ekikola kino kyona kyona. Nsabye tuteesiza ng'abalabirizi nga Right Reverend Samuel Boogere Egesa ali kutukolera omukolo ogw'okuliidinga service eno. Ate tuyidi bulungi dada waife Ssababirizi n'ajja okutuliisa ekibono kya Kibumba. Ajja kwogera Luzungu era omulabirizi wa Central Busoga Diocese n'ajja okuvuunula akaba aka Ssababirizi ng'omwoyo wa Katonda bw'anaamukozesa. Ife abasigaireyo tuyida akola ebisigaireyo olw'okuweesa Katonda ekitiibwa. Abasoga mwebale kwekonda, abasoga mwebale ekola, abasoga mwebale okwewaayo, abasoga mwebale okufaayo, abasoga mwebale okwida, abasoga mwebale okuweesa Katonda ekitiibwa, abasoga mwebale okuweesa ise ife mwene mwekitiibwa. Nine bantu wa Busoga tukolenga tutyo again and again and again. God bless you.
akwaya mumpeyo ekitundu kirala kyonka eky'olwemba kirala kiti abantu bemerere. Ekitundu ekyo nga bali kukyemba n'obuwombeefu bungi Order of service eno erimu enimi ibiri, erimu olufeetefeete yabaamu n'olusoga. Order of service eno erimu enimi ibiri, erimu olufeetefeete lweta Olungereza, kubanga omukolo guno tigukomye mu Uganda yonka, gumaze ku ensi yona yona yeva niyekanga. Aye mulimu n'olulimi lwaife olw'Abakanaidongo Abasoga. Kale abali kugoberera Olungereza, you turn on page 8, those following English. Ife nga mwene mwalimu nine bantu nga atyaime gano katwenuke ku lusoga. Olupapula olw'omwenda awo waliwo ebintu eby'okubeeranwa oseba lya isanji. Musengwa abe nimwe. Tikikalamu omusaada okuba yenka. Bakagwa mwena mwena ng'omulabirizi w'obulabirizi buno bw'amaze okubandula n'okubaaniriza. Twekondye gano mu maiso ga Katonda ni mu maiso ag'ekikunsu kino okuba abaddulirwa nga William ni Jovia bafumbiriganwa mu bufumbo obwamufu, okusaba Katonda okubafuka ku obwibuka n'okusagambira agalala nabo. Okufumbiriganwa basebo ne banyabo kwa kitiisa. Katonda yakulagira abantu nga bakaali kwonoona. Kutulaga okweyimba kwa Kristo n'ekkanisa ye okw'omwoyo musengwa waife Yesu Kristo mwene yasiima era yakutaamu ekitiisa bwe yali omugeni omwete ku mbaga ey'obugole mu Kaana ekyegaliraaya eyasookera okukola ekyamadodo. Ni Pawulo omwamufu yakusiimanga kwa kitiisa eri abantu bona bona. Bakagwa ebyawandiikibwa bitusomesa ng'okufumbiriganwa kya butonde era okwatandiikibwa Katonda. Ekyama eky'ekinku omusaada n'omukazi mwe bafuukira omubiri omulala. Ekigendererwa kya Katonda kiri kiti: omusaada n'omukazi bwe bamala okwisanya okuba agalala mu mukago enakudayibwe donadona baba beyimbye mu kugonzania nga Kristo bwe yeyimba n'ekkanisa ye. Obufumbo bubaawo omusaada n'omukazi okusamusaganya, okuyambagana, okubaagalala nga beesigangana mu bwavu ni mu bugayiga, mu bugafu ni mu kusagamba. Obufumbo bubaawo olw'okugugira obuseereze. Abantu abataganga kwekuuma bafumbirwenga, begenderezenga ng'ebimega ebikalamu eby'omubiri gwa Kristo. Babaawo Katonda bw'aba asiimye. Obufumbo bubaawo Katonda bw'aba asiimye bazaalenga abaana, babalerenga era babakuzenga mu mpisa ed'okutya Katonda. Eriina lye eryamufu litukuzibwe. Mu bufumbo buli muntu avunaanizibwa mwine era batolera obulamu bwaibwe obuyaaka ge baba. Obulamu obw'ensamba eno abafumbo bawooma okubuwa ekitiisa. Tibuteekwa kugalambadibwa nkani owundi okwewoloza ku yenka. Kiwoomye okubugema n'okumalirira n'eigondo n'obuvunaanizibwa nga bombi bakulu mu bidoobo era nga buli muntu ategeera omugaso gwa mwine. Baasebo ne banyabo, buno n'obulamu obw'ekikristaayo Katonda bwe yataawo era bw'ataamu ekitiisa. William Nadiope ni Jovia Mutesi bwe bali kutoolera mpegaano, bayidda kulaamiriza bagemagane mu ngalo, bageddagane enaalo ng'akamaniso ak'okusibizaganya. Baasebo ne banyabo abeekondi obwagaawo mpegaano ku lunaku lwaibwe luno olw'okufumbiriganwa, tusenge nabo nga twegemba Katonda abaga amaani n'amagezi bagange okutuukiriza ebyo bye bajja okulaamiriza n'okukuuma amaka gaibwe enaku donna donna de banaamala nga bakaali balamu. Dada waife Isaabalabirizi, ndikiriza nkozesa omukisa guno gwa kyansi gwe ntabanga ku nagwo nsimbule abantu abali gano ekibuuzo. Aleeni baasebo ne banyabo, obanga galiwo omuntu yeena mwene aidhi ensonga ey'amazima erobera William Nadiope ni Jovia Mutesi okuyimbibwa mpegaano agikobe buti, agikoberi muwulire. Aye bwe yesiriikiriza kimufiiranga ku mwoyo. Obanga abaire gali wabeemereire kambasawe mutyame okutoola kwoyo akaalina ensonga oyo ayemerere ataidha agikobe buti. Mwebale.
Our dear ones, William and Jovia, the vows you are about to make are to be made in the name of the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who knows the secrets of our hearts. So if either of you knows a genuine reason as to why you shouldn't be joined together in holy matrimony, would you please declare right now?
Wazira nsonga yona yona.
Wazira nsonga yona yona.
Now let me ask, dear William Nadiope, do you take this woman, Jovia Mutes, to be your wife, to live together in the covenant of marriage as revealed in the Holy Scriptures? Will you love her, comfort her, respect and protect her? Will you keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all other women, and be faithful to Jovia and Jovia alone, as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Jovia, do you give yourself to this man, William Nadiope, to be your husband, to live together in the covenant of marriage as revealed in the Holy Scriptures? Will you love him, comfort him, respect him, protect and keep him in sickness and in health? Jovia, will you forsake all other men and be faithful to William, and William alone, as long as you both shall live?
Yes, I will.
Congregation, let me request you to stand up. You are witnesses to these vows now being made will you do all in your power to support and uphold this marriage? Kale mutyame. Ani agabye Jovia omuko. Kamujeko akatimba okakasanga yoyo.
I, William Nadiope, take you, Jovia Mutesi, to be my wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love, respect, and to cherish you for the rest of our lives, according to God's holy law. This is my sincere vow.
I, Jovia Mutes, take you, William Nadiope, to be my husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, health. To love, respect, and to cherish for the rest of our lives, according to God's holy law. This is my sincere vow.
The rings.
Let us pray for these rings. Sabira empeta zino. Omukisa empeta zino. Omuddu wo William n'omuzaana wo Javia zibabeera omujulirwa n'omusingo mu kwagana kwabwe okutukuvu okutaggwaawo mu linnya erya Yesu Kristo Mukama waffe. Amen.
Jovia Mutes, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage. With my body, I honor you. All that I am, I give to you. All that I have, I share with you. In the name of the Lord, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
William Nadiope, I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage. With my body, I honor you. All that I am and all that I have, I share with you. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
People of God, now that William and Jovia have given themselves to each other by sincere vows, signified by the joining of hands, and are giving and receiving a symbol of marriage, I pronounce that they are now legally and in accordance with the word of God, they are husband and wife. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I request you to say amen. What God has joined, nobody should put asunder. Katonda kye yagatta awamu tewabanga muntu yenna akyawukanya. Katonda be yagatta awamu ensimbi ebitiibwa tebibaawukanyanga. Kubanga William era ne Jovia bakkiriziganyiza okufumbirigana mu butukuvu kino bakikoze nga batoola empeta n'okukwatagana mu mikono mboogerako nti ono ye musajja n'omukazi awamu abafumbiriganye mu linnya lya Kitaffe n'Omwana n'Omwoyo Omutukuvu. May I request all of you to stand up and stretch your right hands before the Bagore as we bless them. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord sustain you. May the Lord take care of you. May the Lord uphold you. I pray special blessings unto you. And I render the devil powerless. And I take the devil as a captive. And now, go and be fruitful. N'omukisa gwa musengo waife omu wa ikendi. Omwana, Omwoyo Omwamufu, gube kuimwe ense n'ense. Amen. The rest of the people you may sit. Mutiame, musengo abawenkabi.
Sensaka. musengwa kaline kali oya cha musengwa wajoni wali hewa enkabya cha musengwa kaline kali oya cha musengwa oba musengwa yo banatuwanga enkali musengwa yo kale yo musayuni onambo nange likalamu tibidamu yerusalemi enga kudona dona
Praise the Lord.
Jangu oyogere naffe mu linnya lya Kitaffe n'Omwana n'Omwoyo Omutukuvu.
Mu liina lya Kibumba Isaife n'Omwana n'Omwoyo Omwamufu.
So that the two become one in flesh.
Okwolwekyo ababiri abo beeyimbe babe omuntu mulala mu mubiri.
This is the day that the Lord has made.
Luno olunaku musengwa lwalonze.
This is the day for Isebantu Kyabazinga William and Inebantu Jovia Mutesi.
Luno olunaku lwa baba ife Isebeife na baba Nadiope ni mama Jovia Mutesi.
This is the day for Busoga Kingdom.
Luno olunaku olwa Kyabazinga bwa Busoga.
I am reminded of the words of a psalmist.
Ndidukizibwa lw'ebigambo ebya Zabuli.
When the Lord brought his people from exile, it was like a dream.
Katonda waife bwe yatwala abantu mu bwanganguse lwaboneka ng'ekirooto.
We were filled with laughter
Twayiduzibwa enseko mu kusagamba.
and sang for joy.
Twayemba ku lw'okusanuka.
And everybody said, the Lord has done great things for us.
Buli muntu yakoba Katonda atukolera ebikolobo baasanuka bonabona.
To God be the glory.
Ekitiibwa kibe eri Katonda waife.
Let me congratulate Kyabazinga William and Inebantu for this achievement.
Kandoze yoze baba ife Isebantu ni mama Inebantu olw'obuganguzi buno.
Thank you for making a good choice
Weebale okulondera erala
and for having
ebitungulu lyene.
a wedding done in the church.
Ate nga kiri okolebwa mu kanisa.
I love the Kyabazinga. He knows how to make choices.
Ngonza Kyabazinga ono ayidi bw'alonda obutuufu.
You know, he supports the younger people and he supports football and he loves Arsenal.
Alagira abaana abato, yalagira omupiira, ate mugagizi wa Arsenal.
When he chose Arsenal, which is my team, I knew he's a man who knows how to make choices.
Bwe yalonda okuwagira Arsenal ate nga zena yempagira n'amanya mule nti ayidde okulondawo obutuufu.
Let me congratulate the parents of Inebantu for this joy and pride of having your daughter becoming the mother of many.
Ndozaayoza abazaire ab'amaama waife Inebantu olw'ekitiibwa kino Katonda kyalesi.
Your status has been elevated.
Ekitiibwa kyammwe kiniini amadaala.
Even the village where she comes from has changed now.
N'ekyalo maama kwazaalibwa kikyuse.
The clan and the chiefdom.
Ekika n'obwensikira n'obwo.
People from Buna, this is your pride.
Abantu abava e Buna eno n'ensonga ey'ennono.
I suggest that since we have a road named after Queen Victoria and a lake named after Queen Victoria, we should have a road named after Inebantu Jovia.
Bwe tuli n'iloogi eyanekuba Victoria n'enanda eyeteba Victoria kansabe nti gaidda kubaga ekifo kituumibwe Inebantu.
Especially that road which goes to her village.
Naddala oluguudo olwo olujja ku kyalo maama yazaalibwa.
I want to congratulate all the villagers there. All the women of that village are now elevated.
Ndozaayoza ab'ekyalo ekyo n'ayozaayoza abakazi ku kyalo ekyo kifuuse ensonga.
I congratulate the kingdom for having Mama. The queen is in the palace.
Ndozaayoza obwa Kyabazinga bwa Busoga olw'okufuna Inebantu ekifo ekisinga bunene.
I congratulate the kingdom. I congratulate the Busoga and all God's people for this blessing.
Ndozaayoza obwakabaka obwa Kyabazinga abasoga ku lw'obuwanguzi buno.
I congratulate the Bishop of Busoga and Central Busoga
omulabirizi wa Busoga n'omulabirizi wa Central Busoga
for having your cathedral chosen for this royal wedding.
olw'okulondebwa cathedral eno eya Christ Cathedral okulondebwa okufa ekifo okw'okuyimikizaamu abagole baife.
I must also thank God for choosing me through the Chabazinga to officiate at this royal wedding. I can't take it for granted.
nebaza katonda kulw'okulondebwa okulembera okusaba kuno tikitwala butwale nti kigwire obugwe.
I want to congratulate each and every person who has played a role. You must thank God that you are here today.
ntozaayoza buli ababaire kye batayiremu ate ekikulu kyene ntuliga n'olwaleero.
I must appreciate God for Mr. Charles Magumba, whom the Chabazinga sent to us to break the news of this wedding, and the rest is now history. Mr. Magumba, tusangaire ino, tusangaire irala, musengwa kuwenkabi.
bano ekyo baaba akimaze okukikyusa.
I appreciate the legal team that guided us in this matter.
yebaza ekitongole ekinamateeka ekitubudyebudye ku nsonga eno.
Led by our provincial chancellor, Mr. Naboth Muhaire, and also Mr. Emmanuel Bamwite.
kikulemberwa chancellor w'obwa Ssaabalabirizi mwami Naboth Muhaire ne chancellor w'obulabirizi mwami Emmanuel Bamwite.
Thank you for leading us very well.
mwebale nnyo okutukulembera obulungi mutyo.
Because there were certain things and we had to look at it from the spiritual, theological, and legal point of view.
ensonga zibayirewo nga ziringirwako mu mbeera y'omwoyo embeera ey'amateeka n'ey'okusomesa bayibuli kyekoba.
Let me appreciate other legal team members who helped us. Honorable Justice Batema, Senior Residence Judge at Yiganga.
nebaza n'ab'ekitongole ky'amateeka abatuyambye naddala His Lordship Justice David Batemandi Kabona ow'Iganga.
And also Honorable Justice Duncan Gaswaga.
n'omulamuzi oyo His Lordship Duncan Gaswaga.
Also our friend Honorable Agure Chibenge, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
ni mwami Agure Kibenge omugandisi ow'enkalakalira mu ministry ey'ekikula eky'abantu.
Owekitiibwa Alex Ruganda, Attorney General in the Kingdom.
kitiisa mwami Ruganda ali mu kitongole ekyo ekinamateeka.
Allow me to thank Reverend Professor Dr. Sam Ruboga and Mama Christine, whom has assigned the duty of doing premarital counseling as a medical doctor, and the one who has been married for 50 years. They have a lot of experience.
kanebaze Reverend Dr. Professor Ruboga Sam ne Mama Christine olw'omulimu gwe bakoze okubudaabuda abagole ku nsonga z'ekifumbo ate nga basawo bazira nteebereza ya bwire mu bye bakoze.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 24.
amainama ensula yakubiri olunyiriri lwa 18.
God intended that there should be marriage.
katonda yateekateeka nti gateekwa okubaawo okweyimba.
Each time God created something, he said, it is good.
buli katonda kye yatangawo kye yabumbanga yakubanga ati kirungi.
4 times he said it was good.
emirundi ena miramba ng'akoba ati kirungi.
But listen to this.
aye wulirisa kino.
In Genesis chapter 2 verse 18.
mu mainama ensula ey'okubiri olunyiriri lwa 18.
And now he said everything was very good.
yakoba ati buli kintu kabiri kirungi nno.
Good.
kirungi.
4 times.
emirundi emikuzi ena.
And now he said very good.
luno yakoba ati kirungi nno.
But Genesis 2:18 he said it is not good.
amainama 2:18 yakoba ati aye ti kirungi.
This is the first time we see God saying it is not good.
n'omukuzi ogusooka katonda ng'alikoba ati ti kirungi.
What is that which God said is not good?
niki ekyo omusengwa kye yakoba ati ti kirungi.
He said
yakoba
it's not good for man to be alone.
ati ti kirungi omusaadha okuba yenka.
It's not good for Chabazinga to be alone.
nga ti kirungi kyabazinga waife okuba yenka ng'awolongera.
It's not good for people to be alone.
nga ti kirungi abantu okubaawo mu kuwolongera.
God saw everything he had created was good.
katonda yabona nga buli kye yatonda kirungi.
But one thing he said not good was for a man to be alone.
aye ekirala kye yakoba ti kirungi neky'omusaadha okuba yenka
And
ng'awolongera.
he created him.
yamutonda.
Adam, he gave him Eve.
adamu yamuwa Eva.
Listen to this.
wulirisa kino.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Adamu n'Ikaawa ti Adamu n'Ikaawa banteeku ntya nga ti Kaawa omusaadha.
So I want to take note of this.
Mukyetegereze.
Marriage is between Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Obufumbo buli hagati ga Adamu n'Ikaawa, musaadha na mukazi, ti musaadha na musaadha kuba Steve lyaba musaadha.
Therefore,
N'olwekyo
marriage
obufumbo
is God's idea.
kirowoozo kya Katonda mwene.
It wasn't any man's initiative.
Kikyali kutandiika kuvumbuza kwa muntu
And therefore,
n'olwekyo
it must be kept in its original form.
kiteekwa okukuumibwa mu mbeera yaako ye kyatandikibwa.
One thing to note
Kirala kite ekyokwetegereza
between a man and a woman.
hagati w'omusaadha n'omukazi.
Secondly,
Ekyokubiri,
God removed only one rib out of Adam.
Katonda yatoolamu olubirizi lulala mu Adamu.
Only one rib.
Lulala luti.
Only one rib.
Lulala luti.
Which means
ekitegeeza
marriage is between one man and one woman.
Obufumbo kitegeeza ki bwa musaadha mulala na mukazi mulala.
I am hearing some discussions in the parliament, but the truth is one man and one woman.
Kuwulira ebiri kuteesebwa mu paalamenti eya Uganda ye ekituufu kiri nti musaadha mulala na mukazi mulala.
Hallelujah.
Mukama yebazibwe.
This is very important.
Kino kikulu ino.
Why was marriage put in place?
Lwaki obufumbo bwateebwawo?
3 important reasons.
Ensonga enkulu 3.
Companionship.
Kugemaganira walala.
Friendship.
Mukwano.
And that's very important.
Ate ekyo kikulu ino.
I have seen already Chabazinga here.
Olwedde embwine baba ife Kyabazinga.
I saw him smiling.
Mubwine ng'ali kumweneregeta.
Because before Mama Inebantu arrived, he was lonely there.
Mama ng'akali kutuuka abaire nga muwololevu.
I saw him very quiet there.
Ng'asiriikirire ino.
But when she came,
Aye bw'atuuse.
I saw the Chabazinga smiling.
Kyabazinga nga n'akamweno kaviireyo.
This is my rib.
Olunono olubirizi lwange.
This is my wife.
Lunono n'omukyala wange.
It is companionship.
Kugemaganira walala.
Very important.
Kikulu ino.
The second point.
Ensonga ey'okubiri.
Procreation.
Kuzaala.
Procreation.
Kutaawo.
That is how we have generations and generations.
Kyova tulina omulembe n'omulembe nga gwiraganako.
That's why people who are advocating for homosexuality, they are against procreation.
Kyova aba bali kutambuza amawulire ag'ebisiyaga.
I want to thank the Deputy Speaker and your team. Thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you, Your Excellency. We appreciate God for your office for signing that law. To God be the glory. This is the way to go. Countries which are fighting the real thing, they are really losing. The population is becoming down. Procreation. Then the last point here is to erase immorality. Genesis 2:24. The two become one flesh. This is to seal a permanent relationship of a husband and wife. It is for all life union of the two. Today,
Isebantu William
and Inebantu, God have called you to be one. This is a unique wedding, by the way. It is a royal wedding. It is the first wedding I have seen Mama Nabagerika actually signing on behalf of the bride.
n'obukole bw'ensooso okubona nga maama n'abagereka ali kusayininga ng'omudulirwa eri abagole abo.
It's not just a simple wedding.
Ti kintu kya buliddo, kino ti bugole bwa buliddo.
How many royal weddings have you seen in the last 10 years in Uganda?
Olulangira edibairewo mu myaka egyo.
In the last 20 years.
Mu myaka 2 egibise.
How many royal weddings have you seen in Uganda the last 20 years?
Mbaga kidobo bwaine edoluli olulangira mu myaka 2 edibise.
So this is very important.
So kino nsonga nkulu ino.
A wedding is for two people.
Obufumbo obugayitibwa mu kanisa bw'abantu babiri.
William and Jovia.
But
it's a royal wedding.
Aye bugole bwa bulangira.
What is the importance of royal wedding?
Nsonga kyenkulu eno mu bufumbo buno obw'ekirangira.
One,
ekisooka,
it brings a national celebration.
Kireeta okuddaguza okwensi yonna
You
yonna.
see how people are celebrating.
Mubona abantu engeri bali kuddaguzaamu.
Buli muntu yena musanufu.
Everybody is happy.
Buli muntu yena atuutubya mu ssengo waife w'omu weekend.
Everybody is glorifying God in heaven.
Abalabirizi basanufu yino.
The bishops are so happy.
Archbishop okuva Namuŋŋoona, bamasheeki boona baliwo, Dr. Serwadda, abakukunavu boona baliwo, ababba, abanene abakolowo, Kipumba yekaza yino.
The Archbishop from Namuŋŋoona, the Apostle Serwadda, and so many important people in the
lunaku lwa kusanuka kusagambiza kinene
yino. Celebrate and glorify.
It brings a national celebration.
Kireeta okuddaguza okwensi yonna yonna.
Every media house is capturing this wedding.
Buli mpulizaganya eri gano bugembe.
Jubilation.
Eri kuddaguza.
Secondly,
ekyokubiri,
people are united.
Abantu beeyimba walala.
People are united.
Abantu beeyimba walala.
Now,
the
Muslims are here.
Abaisiraamu bali wano.
The Catholics are here.
Abakatuliki bali wano.
You can see the Anglicans are here.
Abaprotestanti bali wano.
The Pentecostals are here.
Abapentecostals mu mwoyo mutukuvu bali
The
wano.
Basamize are also here.
N'abasamize bali wano.
The politicians are here.
Ab'ebyobufuzi bona bali wano.
I can see politicians of yellow, of red, of blue. They're all here.
Ab'ebyobufuzi, aba kyenvu, ab'ekimyufu, aba bulu bali wano.
This is a time to be united. It is a time to jubilate because Inebantu is in the house. Mama waifu aliwo.
Our mom is around.
Aliwo okutuyonsa ekiseera kino.
She's here to circle us.
Let us be united.
Tusigale nga twegaise.
I have seen companies, organizations, everybody is contributing.
Ebitongole kamala biviireyo byasondera ensonga.
You can see the soldiers are here, the different kingdoms are all here.
Abamagye n'obwakabaka obundi era bona bali wano.
So the message is, they became one flesh. But it's not about now only these two individuals. It is for all the Basoga to be united. Muleko okwerumaaluma.
Let us stop backbiting each other.
Let us tutambulire walala.
Can we move together?
Buli muntu aenda mwine, buli muntu wa mugaso yino.
We need each other and each has a purpose for the other.
This wedding
obugole buno
is about that message.
Gemagana na mubako obwo.
Ise bantu and ine bantu to be united.
Ise bantu ni mama ine bantu babenga bali walala.
But all the Basoga,
and all of the Basoga,
all Ugandans,
Uganda bona
we need each other. Every person is important. Whether you belong to different party, you are God's people. You are Ugandans.
We are all of Basoga.
Abasoga baganda twena Kibumba.
The Basoga and the Baganda, we all need the blessings from God.
Keep this unity. Keep this unity. Secondly, you need to know that royal weddings actually promote economy.
embaga efaanana ng'eti eyongera ebyenfuna.
I think people have got money this week.
Abantu bafunye sente wiiki eno.
Those who are selling bananas, they have got money.
Abali kutunda amenvu bafunye sente.
Restaurants and hotels, they are really packed.
Obuguteeri ebunene n'entono dhidwiza abantu.
So, it's not about a wedding.
N'olwekyo tibugole kyonka.
It talks about our economy.
Kyogera ni kunzingiza ni kunfuna.
Let me tell you this.
Kambakobere kino.
From this day forward,
okuva olwaleero
all the Basoga
abasoga twena
should get united to fight poverty in this region.
twegayitire galala tubinga obwavu.
To fight poverty.
Tulwanise obwavu.
Because now people have got some little money
kubanga abantu bafuneyo ku akasente
out of this wedding.
okuva mu bugole buno obuli
A royal wedding
obugole buno
opens a new chapter for the next generation.
kutaago ensuula empyaka eri omugijja ogwirako.
To respect marriage.
okuyisa ekinagansi mu bufumbo.
To do the right thing.
okukola ekituufu.
To know that love is real and possible.
okumanya nti okugonza kuliwo ate kusoboka.
God is the ultimate king who brings people together and keeps them together.
katonda waife ni kabaka aleeta abantu alala ate yabakuumira walala.
Listen to this.
muwulirise kino.
Let us keep the sanctity of marriage.
tukuume ennuunu eri mu bufumbo.
Your marriage has attracted many people.
obufumbo bwo buleetera abantu bangi okuseeta.
And many people will be transformed when you have a wonderful marriage.
n'abandi baida kulingirira kino bakyuke okubona nga obufumbo obuliwo bugeesa kitonda ekitiibwa.
This wedding has made a statement that this kingdom honors marriage.
bukoze ensonga enkulu nti obwakya bazinga buno buteekinagansi mu bufumbo.
President Museveni and Mama Janet celebrated 50 years of marriage.
President waife Museveni ne Mama Janet baddaguza emyaka 5.
It was a statement that Uganda will honor marriage.
yali nsonga eyaidawo nti ife mu Uganda tuteekinagansi mu bufumbo.
Now we have another statement made in this kingdom.
tulina ensonga eyindi ekolebwa mu bwakabaka mu bwakya bazinga buno.
That the marriage is very important. Let us respect it.
nti obufumbo nsonga nkulu ino tubwiseemu ekinagansi.
Actually, this week,
ekyamazima wiiki eno,
in the Church of England,
mu kanisa eya England mu Bungereza,
they passed a resolution
babisiisa ekiteeso
of blessing same-sex unions.
okuga enkabi obufumbo obw'omusaadha n'omusaadha oba omukazi n'omukazi.
Can you imagine something even a cockroach cannot do?
n'ekikeenembi n'ekisiri kyekitasobola kukola lowooza ekyo kyakola.
A male cockroach understands a female cockroach.
ekisiri ekikazi n'ekisaadha bimanagana.
I have never seen a homosexual dog.
tibonanga kumbwa erya bisiyaga.
Actually, even a cock.
n'enkoko empanga.
A cock is so romantic.
yoona eraga omukwano.
There is a way a cock gets a hen and very romantic.
ejja yasamba mu akagere yakola kakaka yataga abaloboozi nti
How can you be romantic before a fellow man and you're a man?
osobola otya okulaga omukwano eri omusaadha n'omusaadha. Uganda.
Let us keep the right thing.
tukuume ekituufu.
And God will bless us.
katonda aidha atuwa enkabi.
Now that mwenemu aliwo,
now that the king is around,
I want to call all the men.
ndeeta abasaadha mwena
Please do the right thing.
mukole ekituufu.
If you are cohabiting,
obanga olina gano ni gale,
and you have kept this woman in your home, you have never brought her in church,
nga n'omukazi ono guwatandika nayo kali kumuleeta mu kanisa,
you should do it.
kikole.
Do it.
kikole.
Because Kyabazinga has led by example.
kubanga baba waife Kyabazinga atayirego ekyokuboneraku.
Let me conclude by sharing about 3 kings.
kamalirize nga bananiimwe ensonga ezifa ku bakabaka
3 kings who are known to have been faithful.
abaalaga ekifaananyi ky'okuba nti baali beesigwa.
King William the First
kabaka William asooka
was very faithful to his wife Matrida.
yali wa mazima ino era mwesigwa eri mukazi we Matrida.
He never cheated her.
tiyabaligaku.
Another king is Edward the First.
kabaka owundi ni kabaka Edward asooka.
He was very faithful to Eleanor, very faithful.
yali wa mazima ino eri mukazi we Elinina.
George the Third.
kabaka George owokusatu
was faithful to Philippa.
yena yali wa mazima eri mukazi we Philip.
But we have another king,
Twaye tulini kabaka owundi
King Solomon.
kabaka Sulemani.
He married 700 wives,
Yali n'abakazi 700
as if they were not enough for him.
kyaboneka tibamumala.
He brought 300 concubines,
Yaleetayo ne bamalaya 300
totaling 1,000 women.
omugendo gw'aba 1000.
Can you imagine?
Kuba ekifaananyi
We have 360 days in a year.
tulina ennaku 360 mu mwaka.
If this man gave 1 day for each woman, 1 year was not enough for him.
Bw'abanga buli mukazi yamuwa olunaku omwaka gwali tigumala.
See, 2 years were not enough for him.
Emyaka 2 tijamala bakazi.
So he needed 3 years when he is not resting at all.
Yayenda emyaka 3 nga tawuumulamuuko.
And he said, it is vanity.
Yamala yakati byona butaliimu.
It is vanity.
Butaliimu.
So this man, King Solomon,
N'olwekyo kabaka ono Sulemaani,
because of that,
olwekyo
his kingdom was divided and lastly it perished.
obwakabaka bwe olwekyo bwamala bwasasika era bwafa.
My prayer for Chabazinga.
Okusaba kwange eri Kyabazinga.
Please keep this lady, Mama.
Kuuma omukyalo ono.
Mama, keep your
Mama
husband.
Jovia. Kuuma baboyfriend.
And be faithful to each other.
Ate mubeba buli muntu yesige mwini.
And all of you here present,
Ife tunatuna abali gano.
marriage is the holy institution which is invaded by unholy people.
Obufumbo
But we need to forgive one another. May God bless you all. May the Lord take care of you. Congratulations. Be united. Busoga people, let us be united. Marriage is good. Let us keep it. And Jesus Christ is the only one who can help us to keep this marriage when we accept Him as our Savior and Lord. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you so much. Muganda wange webale ino.
Nga tukali kujja ku kintu ekindi katusooke twebaze Katonda olwa ekibono kya kibumba kyetuva okuwulira nga tukubira Katonda waffe engalo ate tukubire ku dada waffe Isabirizi mu ngalo kubanga Katonda amukozesa bulungi. Dada waffe Isabirizi bwe bampandikira amayina agabaweereza aba faith edindi eri amayina gabaleseeyo ndikiriza just mu bugambo butono. Tuli ni second deputy mufti of Uganda, His Eminence Sheikh Muhammad Ali Waiswa aidye okubaawo ku mukolo guno. Tuli ni the national chairman of Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, nga ni second deputy katikiro wa Busoga, Professor Dr. Rubega Muhammadi. Then all district cards okuva mu Busoga twenda okubaaniriza Katonda yeebale abaleese okutwegaita ku mukolo ogw'ekitiibwa kino. Tujja okwebaza Katonda, tujja okuwaayo nga twebaza Katonda ku lunaku luno. Nze bukyambaawo tibonanga ku Kyabazinga ng'agayitibwa bukyambaawo. Waliwo bena bendi kusesa ntitoma naaku olwo ni Kyabazinga gembwire ng'agayitibwa. Ndowooza owundi ali baawundi baafiire kubanga bakaali bato mu myaka, ife abandi tukuze. Kale nno bangi n'abafaano tiniize ng'ono Kyabazinga ge tubwire ng'akola kye. tujja kuwaayo ebirabo byaffe nga twebaza ekisa kya Katonda. Oluvannyuma olw'okuwaayo ebirabo byaffe tuyita kwebaza Katonda nga twegaita ku mwenemu okwebaza ekisa kya Katonda kyamutuusiza kwikula lino niffe okuba abadulizi era abadulirwa nga tubona nga mwenemu agayitibwa. Koba oti amiina.
Thank you so much, Bishop. Bishop has been guiding us that we are going to the time of offering in appreciation and as we glorify God for this royal wedding that many of us are witnessing for the very first time and probably for the last time. Ladies and gentlemen, our ushers have taken positions. The choir is going to give us songs. After giving the general offertory, we shall have a time of thanksgiving where we shall join the royal couple, Baba waife ni mama waife nga bebaza Katonda. Ayo wano mukusooka tulikuwaayo ebirabo ebya buliido gye beeta general offertory. Then we shall give thanksgiving. Precisely, we are giving twice. General offertory first, then thanksgiving. People who are watching online, you can also give. There is an empty number that has been given for the vicar of the cathedral. It's an empty number, 0782 12 12 75. In the names of Matthias Michael Katiko. If you are watching online, the online Church of Uganda is on, and we greet you all, and those who are watching on TV. So, choir, give us a song as we offer. If you want to offer using mobile money, 8. Choir is singing as we offer.
Okugozanya kw'omukyakitisa
Thank you so much, choir. That song, it comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 to 8. If when speak languages and all things, but without love, you are like chaff. Thank you, choir. They are giving us another song as we conclude the offering session. Ushers, please bring the baskets. We are going for Thanksgiving. Let's have the baskets for Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, choir. As we continue, we are going into a time of thanksgiving. We shall invite abagole baife baida kwida bemere wano ku altar, baida kwegayitibwaku abazaire n'abantu abakulu abali muno tuida kwemerera wano baida kubanga bawayo kwebaza kwaibwe era tuida kusaba n'abaawula abandi abambaire tujere mu tenti twabibweko abakebezi twebazisa abantu tukikole mangu mangu. We are going to a time of giving thanks. Our king and queen will stand at the altar joined by the dignitaries here and the clergy. Reverend Margaret will lead that and other clergy. The rest of the clergy, we can go into the other tent and receive the thanksgiving from the people. We may not all fit at the altar, but some clergy can remain here and receive thanksgiving from other dignitaries who are in this tent. And the rest of us in that big tent, we shall put our thanksgiving altar. The vice president, the first deputy speaker, the parents, Mama Najinda, n'abantu abatonotono abantu tusobola osigala we tuli abazaire baife abatuzaalira abagole mwida kwida wano ku altar kuba n'omukisa bajja kusabira awo nga twankamala okuwaayo kw'okwebaza. Read the numbers once again, choir, hold on. The number to offer on is 0782 12 1275. 0782 12 1275. Airtel is 0704 12 1274. In the names of Matthias Michael Katiko, that is the vicar of Christ's Cathedral Bugembe. Let me invite the rest of us mentioned to come and join the royal couple as we give our Thanksgiving offering. Parents and other close dignitaries. I think the rest of us, after giving, the Thanksgiving, the rest of us can go and sit. Let's request our Abagole to go back and sit. After giving the Thanksgiving, Sabalabiriza ajjo basabira.
Please help me welcome our partner for the 16th Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture, Ntate Motsepe. I guess at this point, you all know who I'm gonna call. I haven't said anything. Please help me welcome the former President of the US, President Barack Obama. Without sitting down, I would like us to please sing the national anthem of South Africa. This will be rendered by the Soweto Gospel Choir. I have to tell you that I tried to audition and they rejected me. And I'm still trying to sing for the Soweto Gospel Choir. So I'll still try, Prof. There they come. Thank you very much. Soweto Gospel Choir. They will be back again later when they will be singing together with Kirk Wallam and Tandiswa Mazwai. So there will be a music tribute at the end. Now, I'd like you to please help me welcome someone actually who was so brave when she's surrounded by these men and they were trying to get hold of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, and she said, I will do it. And we are collaborating with them at the moment. And this young lady, she will be our program director for the day. Please help me welcome Busi Mkumbuzi.
President Cyril Ramaphosa, President Barack Obama, Mrs. Graça Machel, Professor Njabulo Ndebele, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, and Mr. Silo Hatang. Your Excellencies, heads of states and government, past and present, honorable ministers, members of parliament, provincial premiers, mayors, and all members of government, leaders of opposition parties, veterans of the liberation struggle, former Nelson Mandela lecture speakers, business leaders, and leaders of faith-based organizations, political and social activists, members of the Mandela family, distinguished guests, fellow South Africans, and the world. It is an honor to stand before you today to celebrate the centenary of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Whom former President Barack Obama describes as more than a man, but as being a symbol of the struggle for justice, equality, and dignity in South Africa and all across the globe. In 1994, the year of my birth, Madiba emerged as president of a democratic South Africa. From the onset, he was committed to turning a country torn apart by years of colonialism and apartheid into a fully functioning democracy where all South Africans are equal before the law. And yet, despite our notable progress, the situation right now in the world calls on us to reflect deeply. Global political trends portray a concerted assault against the democratic values that Mandela and his contemporaries espoused. All over the world, there is a resurgence of racial and class exclusivity, of nationalism, and the maintenance of gross inequality through corruption and systematic greed. Patriarchy persists at the peril of women and the LGBT community. We did not think that so far into democracy, so many people would again face the threats of losing their elemental rights, their freedom, and their dignity. This is therefore an auspicious occasion, ladies and gentlemen, to reflect on the principles and values that defined Mandela's life and legacy. Principles such as tolerance, inclusivity, reconciliation, and the rule of law. These principles underpin Madiba's legacy and can heal the world of its social ills. These principles also broke the political deadlock in the 90s, and I truly believe that they need to be invigorated in 2018. Standing standing before you as a young black woman born and bred in the sprawling working class townships of Soweto, this occasion must especially motivate the youth. It must motivate them to take the forefront in the endless struggle to sustain livelihoods globally. During this centennial celebration of Madiba's birth, I encourage all dignitaries, institutions of government, business, and all fervent supporters of Mandela's legacy to put their weight behind the youth, who I believe are the true custodians of our future. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, to mark the opening of this special occasion, it is a great privilege to welcome the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. He is an established scholar who has been a key figure in South African higher education, an author whose critical and creative writing have tackled the effects of apartheid on black communities, protest, democracy, and reconciliation. Please give a resounding applause to Professor Njabulo Ndebele.
President Ramaphosa, President Obama, Mama Machel, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, and so many distinguished guests who out there who have graced our occasion with your presence. And ladies and gentlemen, all of you from far and near. On behalf of the trustees of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, I welcome you to the 16th Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture. Thank you for joining us in your numbers to remember Madiba on the eve of what would have been his 100th birthday, and for doing so by coming to listen to a lecture by an extraordinary leader, President Barack Obama. This is the biggest Nelson Mandela lecture we have ever hosted, something eminently appropriate, I think, for the centenary. Our late trustee, the Venerable Ahmed Kathrada, never stopped demanding that we should hold the lecture in a stadium. Today, he has finally got his wish. "28 years ago, with one hand clasped around the hand of Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the other raised in a fist, Nelson Mandela walked out of Victor Verster prison into a country waiting for his leadership. Would he, outside prison at last, continue to inspire as much as he had done when he was inside? In a racially polarized society where political friends and enemies were frighteningly easy to identify by skin color, few South Africans were aware just how Mandela's release represented a unique and unexpected ways the complex art of the possible. It required that he take enormous personal risks to lay foundations for a negotiated end to over 3 centuries of racist, economic, and social oppression in South Africa. he had to find a way of cutting across embedded histories, structures of governing, and the human attitudes they had given life to over time. He had to find a way for South Africans to begin to see one another differently. It was a task that required a particular kind of leader. Now, for this particular leader, there are countless anecdotes that individually capture some essence of him. The anecdotes collected recently and published in one of our centenary publications, which bears the title, I Remember Nelson Mandela, makes for a most joyous read that I recommend. These anecdotes are told by many from various stations of life who worked for Madiba or for his organizations. But today I want to recall a personal all-time favorite anecdote of mine. It is not in that book. Richard Stengel, who collaborated with Nelson Mandela on his autobiography, The Long Walk to Freedom, tells that particular one. And here it goes. We were once on this airplane flight down in Natal, and it was a prop plane. I think there were 6 seats in it, and there were maybe 4 of us in the plane. As soon as he gets in an airplane, he, Madiba, picks up a newspaper. He adores newspapers. For many years, he didn't have them and revels in the touch of them. And he reads every stupid story. And so we were sitting in this plane. The plane was up, and he was reading his newspaper. And we were about, I don't know, halfway there. And I saw, to my great horror, that the propeller had stopped going round. And he said very, very calmly, Richard, you might want to inform the pilot that the propeller isn't working. I said, yes, Madiba. I walked to the front of the plane, and the pilot was, of course, well aware of it and said, go back and sit down. We've called the airport. They have the ambulances out there, and they are going to coat the runway with foam or whatever they do. So I went back and told that to Madiba, and he just, in that very solemn way of his, mouth sort of down, listened and said, yes. And then picked up his newspaper and started reading. I was terrified, and I calmed myself by looking at him, and he was as calm as could be, like the prisoners on Robben Island that must have looked at him when they felt scared. He just looked as calm as could be. Well, the plane landed safely while Madiba retained his calm and flustered expression all the way as we stopped off the plane. But when they entered the airport, Madiba took advantage of a quiet moment with Stengel to make an unexpected confession. Man, he said, I was scared up there. So Madiba was able to put up the armor of self-composure to mask the turmoil and fear and uncertainty that was churning inside of him. The best part is by far in his honesty, to give words to his fears at the appropriate moment. There's a certain grandeur to it. This story displays something else about Madiba. It shows up Madiba, the politician, surprisingly, Madiba, the actor. He could enter the universe of all those he met, each and every one of them, at home and everywhere in the world, and be remembered universally for the genuineness of that particular moment. The actor in him was able to remove from the politician any semblance of guile, at the same time that the politician gave to the actor the semblance of power to effect change. In him, we could see an intriguing coexistence of power and beauty. It is a coexistence of attributes that he bequeathed to us in the hope that 24 years after the birth of our constitutional democracy, we will be more powerful and even more beautiful. Through Madiba the actor, displayed in this anecdote, I want to pay tribute, therefore, to all actors, artists, writers, dancers, musicians, who in their different art forms are able to feel intensely the characters they become, the thoughts they think, the feelings and emotions they feel deeply. They make real the experience of being truly alive. And being truly alive is what all South Africans today have to become once more, through an act of will and the courage to be clear-minded and steadfast in moments that require them to be courageous. There are many South Africans today in government, in their political parties, in offices of traditional authority, in their trade unions, in their churches, in their schools, and in their governing councils, and in their sports associations. They all play important leadership roles, but some will, by willful intent, have caused the propeller of the airplane of state to stop going round in midair, and who will go on to read a newspaper, see themselves in it, and pretend to be completely innocent. Some will even call a press conference and then say nothing at it. These are the characters that actors get to play as a bad guy. We saw in our Madiba anecdote the ability in a leader to suppress inner fears in order to be brave for other people. That way, people sharing a genuinely dangerous and precarious moment with a leader draw courage from a leader in the appearance of courage displayed by him. He then owns up to that moment later by revealing the fear he experienced after the fact. That way, he enables us to participate in the personal yet public dimensions of being human. I call on all those among our leaders who wear the faces of innocence to stop being the bad guy, step out of the airplane of those whose propeller they had willfully stopped, and after a safe landing, emerge from that plane and say, "Man, I have been corrupt." I am certain that Madiba would have approved as you do. Let us remember those 4 years of difficult negotiations in which, despite some significant loss of life, South Africans did not slide into a bloodbath of a racial war. Madiba's compass remained steadfast and trusted. With the birth of a new democracy achieved, Madiba, as president of the new Republic of South Africa, spent 5 years building constitutional, legislative, political, economic, and social coherence to support and promote a new democracy. Let us remember that the South African Constitution and the society envisaged by it placed participative humanity and belonging at its core. Such would be the country that Madiba dreamed of. His dreams were shared at the time by all political parties, trade unions, business institutions, civil society organizations, communities, and families throughout the land that all agreed to work together in a constitutional democracy to achieve these dreams. No one ever before, none ever before, had been head of state of South Africa for all the people of South Africa. Tirelessly, he worked to ensure that our democracy would become more strong. Indeed, it was strong enough to survive the predations and devastations of the last 10 years. Too many South Africans in that time have been left behind. Too many have become deeply alienated. Too many believe they have nothing to lose. The new governing party administration has provided strong evidence of a determination to clean up and fix broken institutions and restore the best hopes of a nation. But the demand from those left behind is for a fundamental transformation of our society. We give strength to our new president to rise to the occasion. To rise to the challenge with all of us, fellow citizens, by his side. Now, 10 years ago, progressive people around the world welcomed the election of a new president of the United States, Barack Obama. A leader who sought to bring hope and renewed optimism to a democracy more than 200 years old. To many, the Obama presidency offered the United States a dream of a global future that people could aspire to, one that inspired belief in human solidarities that could be forged across national, economic, social, and cultural divides. The realities of office, of course, tested him to the limit. Embedded histories and resilient structures of power proved to be formidable obstacles. Inclusivity as a democratic ideal had not become strong enough over the centuries of democracy to keep at bay racism, official forms of violence, and class-based insecurities that take on an ethnic, racial, and nationalistic forms of expression. To many observers, what we came to see in South Africa as a state capture seemed mirrored in the United States and other parts of the world by what we could call more accurately a capture of democracy. In this scenario, hostile forces to democracy ultimately attain legitimate electoral mandates only to subvert them. Public discourse shifts from the language of social cohesion to that of validating membership in what could be called political tribes. The persistence of structural racism and of denialism in relation to received structural privilege deepens historic divides, as do the whims of the market, structured through 5 centuries of global capitalism. Consequently, multitudes of people across the world live below basic poverty levels on the margins of in every other sense. In the centenary year of Nelson Mandela, we welcome the voice of President Obama to this platform. He has confronted the global challenges I have alluded to in ways that very few have. He has been in the crucible in ways reminiscent of Madiba during the dangerous, turbulent years of the 1990s here in South Africa. He has things to tell us which are worth listening to. He has ideas which I believe will need us to strive to hear the call of justice and begin to reimagine democracy. To conclude, let us find the Madiba in each of us. Let us be the legacy. Let's be the citizen who creates with other citizens our common future to restore beauty, purpose, dignity, and strength to our country. Let us be enriched by this beautiful day. I thank you.
Let us be the legacy. Thank you so much, Prof. Ndebele, for that enlightening and entertaining speech. Not only do you stand here as a giant in history, but as someone who has truly kept his pulse on what is a vibrant country that is finding its path to the future. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Prof. Ndebele. Our next speaker is an activist from humble beginnings who rose to become a world-renowned business leader. He is the founder of mining giant African Rainbow Limited, through which he has distinguished himself as an entrepreneur with exceptional skill. Not stopping there, however, this true son of Africa is a trailblazer in responsible corporate citizenship. His family is the first on the continent to make the Giving Pledge, with key areas of support including the fight against HIV and AIDS, cancer, and Ebola. This giant also supports education, music and arts, religious and non-governmental organizations. Through his pledge, he joins the likes of Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Warren Buffett, all of whom are prime examples of ethical and accountable business leadership required to effectively uplift the lives of all the people in the world. It is a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to present to you Dr. Petrus Motsepe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think the presence of each and every one of you is a living proof that the legacy, the spirit, the values of Nelson Mandela is alive. And also that the spirit of the Rainbow Nation. I mean, you represent South Africa in its beauty, in its inclusivity, in its common commitment to what Nelson Mandela stood for. And I think all of us take huge encouragement and huge inspiration from the commitment to uphold the legacy of Nelson Mandela and to continue this country on the path that he set for us. I'm now going to start by recognizing and paying my respect to President Ramaphosa and to welcome Barack Obama. Welcome back home, Barack. You represent the very best of America, the very best of Africa, and the very best of the world. Mama Graça Machel, we're most honored to see you here with us. The Mandela family, I saw Zinzi, Zenani, and various members of the Mandela family. Can we clap hands for them, please? the chairman of the Nelson Mandela Foundation and the CEO, the king of the Zulu nation, Isilo Samabanja, and all traditional leaders and kings who are here with us. His Grace Bishop Barnabas Likhanyani, and all of the religious leaders and faith-based leaders who are here with us. And of course, in conclusion, recognition of all our ministers. I saw former President Kgalema Motlanthe. Mkhulu, welcome. You know, when we met many years ago, in the way we did, we'd always say, "Hola Madiba, hola. Hola Madiba, hola." Ukhona umoya wakaMadiba la, mina ngiyakuzwa lo moya lo. Moya wa Mandela uteng, moya wa lerato le wa kopano. And is eintlik ook belangrik, in die gees van Mandela is het belangrijk dat ons allemaal samen is. Is prachtig. And everything is stood for. Now, in 1994, when Nelson Mandela was inaugurated, it was a deeply, deeply emotional, it was a historic day, but a deeply, deeply emotional day for all of us. And I remember my wife and I, Precious, we shed a tear because I think many South Africans were very emotional. We never thought that we would live to see Mandela take that oath as president of this country and unite all of us and give hope and inspiration to all of us. But President Obama, we had the honor of also going to your inauguration in 2009, as well as in 2013. And we left and worked in America for some time. And to see you, a president whose father grew up in Africa, take the oath and say, "So help me God," was a deeply, deeply emotional experience for all of us. And on that day as well, we also shed a tear. And because it was living proof that in America, as well as in anywhere else in the world, and particularly in South Africa and in Africa, every young man, every young girl, through hard work and sacrifice, can realize the very, very highest of their dreams. And your presence here is a strong indication of that inspiration, that hope, and that belief in self-ability and the realization that indeed through hard work and sacrifice, our young people and all of us as a nation can realize the dreams that Madiba stood for and the dreams that each of us uphold. I think all of us have very special memories of Nelson Mandela. And when I was asked to say a few words on behalf of the Motsepe Foundation, I thought of two occasions that came to mind. On the one occasion, we had a meeting with Madiba as business leaders. And I think the meeting was in Sandton, at the Sandton Convention Center. And a few months afterwards, we had another meeting. And he called me aside and he called me aside and he said to me, there was something I liked in what you said at the business meeting at the convention center. And I was a bit embarrassed because that meeting was so many months ago and I didn't remember what I had said. So I sort of humbly asked, Tata, can you please remind me, what did I say? So I said, please remind me, what did I say? And he said, at that meeting, we made a statement that the future of the successful, the future of the educated, the future of the wealthy in South Africa, and the future of the families of the successful and wealthy is not bright And in fact, they do not have a future if the poor and the unemployed and the marginalized have a future. And that memory stuck with me for many, many years afterwards. And that was partly why in 1999 we formed the Motsepe Foundation, and in 2013 joined the Giving Pledge, because it was also part of a recognition that all of us are what we are because of the people of this country, because of the sacrifices, because of the hard work. All of us in our lives had somebody who gave us a helping hand. And there's a huge, huge obligation on those of us who are in a position to make a humble contribution to give those who are less fortunate a brighter future. What is also important, particularly in this era of corruption, in this era of people in various positions of authority, particularly in government. But corruption is not confined to government. Many of us in the private sector also have to be very, very careful. In fact, in most cases, in order for you to have a corrupt politician, you need an equally corrupt businessman or an equally corrupt entrepreneur. In many instances in South Africa and in Africa and in many parts of the world, the initiators of corruption are us, business people, those of us in the private sector. And it is very, very, very important. There are so many people who sacrifice so deeply, and many of them paid the ultimate sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice. There's a huge duty and a huge obligation on all of us to make sure, on all of us in the business community, on all of us in the private sector, to make sure that in our interactions and engagements with politicians, with senior politicians, and particularly with those politicians that those of us in the business community may have a relationship with, that we behave in a manner that reflects zero tolerance of corruption, zero tolerance of any insinuation of improper conduct, and it's even more important that corruption is not just seen to be not tolerated, but that in the minds of ordinary South Africans, there is indeed a perception that there's a huge commitment to zero corruption and to uproot corruption. Now I'm going to, it's fine, you can clap hands, it's fine. I'm now going to sit down, and I want to conclude by saying that once more, welcome home, Barack. You inspire us immensely, and we want to continue working with you to those values of equal opportunities, equal access to opportunities for ordinary citizens, and particularly for the poor and for young girls, and the values of freedom of speech, freedom of association, the sort of universally accepted values that gives hope and gives inspiration, that we adhere to them and uphold the legacy and the values of Mandela, and make sure that we build in this country the best place for all our people. South Africans are caring people, South Africans are loving people, and together we will make this the best place in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Dr. Motsepe. I think something that came through in his speech that many people don't in fact know is that Dr. Motsepe has very strong activist and political convictions. And that if we all have those convictions driving whatever work we do, the fruits of the work that we do becomes uplifting. We in fact extend this Hola Madiba Hola in December when the Global Citizen Festival and the Madiba Foundation bring Beyonce to South Africa. With that being said, I now welcome our next speaker. Born in Gaza, Mozambique, she is a member of the Mozambican Liberation Front, which fought for and won independence in 1975. She is a humanitarian, a global advocate for women and children's rights, and an international stateswoman in her own right. She was married to Nelson Mandela from 1998 till his death. And when describing her, he once said that she makes him bloom like a flower. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to invite Mrs. Graça Machel to the podium.
President Cyril Ramaphosa, I can see Madiba smiling to hear me calling President Ramaphosa. President Barack Obama, Barack, I can't say how much I'm thrilled that you accepted our invitation to honor this occasion and to give us the opportunity once again to celebrate you too. So I welcome, and we are looking forward to listen to you. Professor Njabulu Debele, Patrice, my son, Busi, my daughter, honorary dignitaries and the esteemed guests here today. My two big families, the Mandela family, the Machel family, my very special brothers and sisters, the elders who are here represented, all of you South Africans, today you are very special. Good morning. No, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. I am overjoyed to learn of the multitude of festivities organized by governments, civil society organizations, businesses, entertainers, and individual citizens, including Madiba's grandchildren, from every corner of the globe commemorating Madiba's centenary and honoring the values he embodied. I can certainly say with no hesitation that these celebrations make Madiba incredibly happy and proud. I'd like to thank the Nelson Mandela Foundation for being a watchful custodian of Madiba's legacy and offering an important platform for public discourse and meaningful dialogue in the form of these Nelson Mandela annual lectures. In conjunction with the Nelson Mandela Foundation, I salute all the legacy institutions Madiba established, for they hold a special place in the grand kaleidoscope of organizations carrying out the important work of social transformation. I mean here the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, the Mandela Rhodes Foundation, the Mandela Institute for Development Studies, and the elders. These organizations were personally founded or endorsed by Madiba and their mandates carry his blessing. Thank you for your tireless efforts to advance the causes that he held so dear. Madiba Centenary is an opportunity to acknowledge his incredible uniqueness in all its forms. Let us not celebrate him singly as an individual, however. As given the humble and modest man that he is, he sees himself as a representative of a broader collective leadership. Madiba's legacy is a rich tapestry woven over 100 years with the threads and colors of generations of leaders who came before him, as well as those who sat as his contemporaries. Let me pause here and ask you to celebrate with me Mama Albertina Sisulu, who also is turning 100 years this 2018. And with loud and louder so that Mama can hear, Utita Basadi, Utita Bokodo. Hello, Mama, we love you. Over decades, he was a student, Madiba was a student of African heritage and leadership traditions. He took close note of the philosophical leanings of a wide range of thought leaders. He dutifully analyzed the approaches of freedom fighters, political prisoners, and heads of state. He was also inspired by the activism of artists, creatives. The struggle hero, the skillful strategist, the visionary statesman, the global icon he is considered today, is a product, of this collective leadership. The tapestry of his legacy is woven by generations and generations of great thinkers and strategists, freedom fighters in all their interactions, as well as the unnamed and unknown who piqued his imagination, sharpened his keen intellect, and kept his moral fortitude alight. As we celebrate him and honor his contributions to the world, we must remember that while his political party, the African National Congress, strategically thrust him forward as the symbolic face of the struggle, and the world embraced him as such, he was not acting in singular isolation. He, in fact, regarded himself as a representative of a much broader, powerful conglomeration of activists who, in their unique and varied ways, were driving the attainment of political freedom. He considered himself a simple foot soldier. We remember on his jubilant release, he exclaimed, I quote, "I stand here before you, not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people." We, the people, need unifying symbols in which we rally around. And we often elevate symbols who take on the dreams and aspirations of millions of us to deity-like status. Madiba became selfless symbol of unrelenting resistance, of hope, of resilience, and of victory. He embodied the sacrifices, courage, and the determination of millions who worked in concert to overthrow the evils of apartheid. Perhaps his resolute commitment to his ideals in the face of seemingly unsurmountable odds, his incredulous strength of character and integrity, and his affirmation of the narrative that indeed good can triumph over evil are why we admire and we revere him so. Madiba internalized the courage and determinations of his own people and gave the absolute best of himself to give to South Africa its political freedom. But even having achieved the highest aspirations of humanity, the Madiba I know is a simple, grounded, and humble man. I want to share with you one of the moments where this humility expressed itself so genuinely. Madiba was attending the 75th birthday of his close friend and comrade, George Bezos. The event was a star-studded affair with anti-apartheid struggle heroes, VIPs from around the world in attendance. He was getting on in age by then and was not in a position to enjoy the festivities well into the night. So we agreed he would attend for a brief while and would then make our exit. We arrived to find an entourage of well-wishers welcoming him to the party. As guests greet him and as each of speakers took to the stage, they were singing his praises and bestowing upon him the most flattering of compliments. We were not in the room for more than 30 minutes, but each minute was filled with obvious displays of affection and love for him. With each accolade, he graciously smiled, nodded in appreciations, and thanked them for their kind words. As we leave and we are driving home and reflecting on the lovely evening, he turned to me and in genuine curiosity, he questioned, "Mom?" Because he used to call me Mom. He said, "Mom, don't you think these people are exaggerating? I'm not at all these things they are saying about me." His self-effacing disbelief made me chuckle, and I gently reassured him, and I said, "No, Papa, they're not exaggerating." Lord, human being, and said in many occasions that he was not a saint. The stature to which he had risen and the symbol of virtue that he had become did not shake him into pompous arrogance. Despite his monumental achievement, his incredible influence and impact, and overwhelming fame and notoriety, the essence of who he was and his level of self-awareness had never been altered. His sober view of himself was that of many times you'd say, "I am a country boy." Madiba was humble enough to recognize the limits of the achievements of his generation. He wisely wrote in his long work to freedom, and I quote, "The truth is that we are not yet free. We have merely achieved the freedom to be free, the right not to be oppressed. We have not taken the final step of our journey, but the first step on a longer and even more difficult road. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others," unquote. Madiba and his contemporaries laid a solid base for today's generation to now stand free and unconstrained in the continued long work for equality and prosperity for all. They provided the enabling environment for the youth of today to build on foundations of political emancipation and continue weaving a tapestry of their own historical imperative and a thread in social and economic freedom. His centenary gives us the opportunity space to remember how we can take inspiration from his life to bring us closer to the world where, and I quote again, we live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others, unquote. The youth of this country and this continent